Revealed, how an incredible rancher's daughter changed a terrified bride's life in just 30 days. The sun set behind the snow-capped mountains, casting a golden hue over the sprawling Montana ranch where Sarah lived. At 23, she was everything a rancher's daughter should be: tough, devoted, and driven by dreams of becoming a veterinarian. But life was better than her dreams. It was real, filled with the aromatic scent of fresh hay and the comforting sounds of livestock. The community around her resonated with love, a stark contrast to the so-called happiness rotten with corporate ambition that suffocated city dwellers. Then one fateful day, Emily arrived. Drenched in designer clothing, with hair neatly combed and eyes glossed with city stress, she drove toward the ranch like someone escaping a scene from a suffocating drama. The vastness of the open field struck her dumb. Time stretched into a heavy quiet, so unlike the jarring cacophony of New York. She felt small and vulnerable, with each gust of wind whispering doubts. What was she doing here? A 30-year-old corporate lawyer, buried under societal expectations, preparing for a wedding she wasn't sure she wanted. As Emily stepped out of the car, Sarah flashed her a crooked smile. Quick-witted and earthy, she couldn't have been more different from the polished bride-to-be. The ranch life pulsed with authenticity, hard work and heartfelt connections. At first, Emily misjudged all of it, dismissing Sarah's unwavering strength as naive. "Don't you ever want more than this?" she awkwardly posed, her sharp tone cutting into the calm, but Sarah merely chuckled, wiping her brow from a long day of work to reply, "More than this? This is life." The words hung heavy in the air, yet they stirred something deep in Emily. A resilience flickered there, hidden beneath layers of corporate facade. Then, the storm came. Black clouds rolled in like an angry beast, clawing at the sky, unleashing downpours and raging winds. As the ranch got battered and bruised, townsfolk rallied. They rallied like family. Everyone pitched in, mending fences, clearing debris, restoring hope amidst chaos. Emily joined the effort, her manicured nails caked with mud. Every moment underscored by the communal spirit tugged at her tightly wound heart, daring her to reconsider her choices. "Oh my God!" she yelled over the howling wind, gasping when a gust nearly swept her away. But there stood Sarah, headstrong and steady, tossing hay onto a nearby pickup truck, a literal force of nature. Watching Sarah endure, Emily felt warmth seep into her. Something was changing within her. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the storm dissipated, the sun peeked out again, and the ranch, though damaged, felt more alive than ever. The roar of the storm shifted to a whisper, leaving Emily with an uncanny sense of freedom. Yet, she felt torn. The city with its promises and pressures called to her like a siren. Could she step back into the world that wants to find her? Or would she let the unexpected bond she forged with Sarah guide her toward a more genuine path? Standing at the crossroads of her existence, Emily felt the weight of expectations pressing down, her heart racing as visions of her future spiraled in her mind. Sarah stood beside her, a steadfast figure of authenticity. Would she embrace that influence, or fall back into a life that felt increasingly hollow? The clarity of her choices danced just out of reach, waiting to be seized. The next morning, Emily woke to soft light spilling through the window. She blinked, her mind cloudy with remnants of dreams and uncertainty. The smell of brewed coffee wafted in, a comforting aroma almost nostalgic in its warmth. Stepping out of bed, she pulled on a pair of jeans and a simple t-shirt, feeling oddly out of place in her skin. As she made her way to the kitchen, Sarah was there, flipping pancakes with a skill that seemed effortless. Her laugh rang through the room, light and infectious. "You made it through the storm," she teased, flipping a pancake high before catching it in the pan. Emily can't help but smile, the awkwardness of the previous days falling away like an unwanted layer. "I'm not sure how much help I was," she admitted, recalling the mud caked on her hands and clothes, the clumsiness with which she attempted to pitch in. "Help comes in different forms," Sarah replied, pouring syrup over the golden stacks before sliding a plate toward Emily. "You showed up. That's what matters." As they ate together in the mingled brightness of the morning, Emily found herself laughing freely, the tension coiling in her chest loosening. Conversation flowed easily, with Sarah animatedly recounting tales of the ranch's daily life. She spoke of the animals, their quirks, and the community that thrived around them. Each story painted vibrant images, drawing Emily deeper into a world she had only ever observed from a distance. But as laughter filled the spaces between them, a shadow crept back into Emily's heart. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, a reminder of the life waiting for her back in New York, a life that now felt like a distant echo, harsh and jarring. "Are you okay?" Sarah's voice broke through her reverie. Emily hesitated, hurt bubbling just beneath the surface. "I'm not sure. Every time I think of going back, I'm flooded with doubts." "Doubts about the wedding?" Sarah asked, her tone gentle yet firm. "It feels like I'm standing on the edge of two very different worlds," Emily confessed, her voice trembling. "One world feels safe, but the other is full of possibility. I can't help but think, what if I'm making a terrible mistake?" Seconds stretched between them, each heartbeat punctuated by the weight of uncertainty. "What do you really want?" Sarah asked. That question hung heavy in the air, a powerful challenge. Emily's heart raced, but she wasn't sure if it was fear or excitement. She had spent so long adhering to the plans laid out for her. What would it mean to seize a path of her own design? "I've never really considered it," she admitted, her lips quivering slightly. "Maybe it's time to start," Sarah replied, her gaze unwavering. "Follow what inspires you, what makes you feel alive." The sincerity in Sarah's eyes struck Emily like a splash of cold water. Could she really reshape her life, redefine her next moves? The ranch vibrated with a different energy, one that beckoned her to step into the unknown. As they finished breakfast, Emily felt a shift inside her, a hint of release. She could almost visualize a version of herself standing tall beside Sarah as they dealt with an unexpected challenge, ready to embrace the messiness of life. As they prepared to step outside, Sarah grinned playfully. "Well, we should go check on the horses. They're probably wondering where all their help went." Emily laughed, but beneath her laughter was an urgency, a swelling hope that perhaps life here didn't just offer comfort, it offered a chance to rediscover who she truly was. Could this be the pivotal moment that redirected her path? Before stepping out into the vastness of the ranch, Emily glanced at Sarah, her heart pounding. "What if I decide to stay longer? What if I want more of this?" Sarah paused, her eyes sparkling with encouragement. "Then let's see what happens next." With that unspoken agreement, the door swung open, revealing the sprawling landscape before them as their adventure continued, one not defined by expectations, but by authenticity and uncharted horizons. Yet, even amidst their budding connection, Emily couldn't shake the finality of her decision looming ahead. What would she choose when the moment truly arrived? As they walked into the warmth of the morning sun, her heart whispered, "Am I ready to find out?" Stepping out into the sunlight was like crossing a threshold into another reality. The vast expanse of the ranch stretched before Emily, bright and inviting. Horses grazed lazily in the distance, their gentle movements a stark contrast to the chaotic energy of the city she'd left behind, if only for a moment. "See Mon. I'll show you how to feed them," Sarah called, her enthusiasm infectious. Emily followed, her heart racing with a blend of excitement and apprehension. This was new territory for her, a world filled with unpredictable challenges and simple joys. As they approached the paddock, the horses lifted their heads, curious about the newcomers. Sarah began to explain the different breeds, her passion evident in every word. Emily listened intently, captivated by her friend's knowledge. "That one there is Bella. She's a bit of a diva, but you'll love her once you get to know her. Emily chuckled, imagining a horse with a personality, and for the first time since arriving, she felt a sense of belonging. This wasn't just a temporary escape, it felt like a chance to stretch and grow. As they reached the fence, Emily hesitated, her gaze fixated on Bella. "Go ahead, give her a treat," Sarah encouraged, handing Emily a handful of carrots. With shaking hands, Emily extended her arm toward the horse. Bella sniffed and hesitated, and for a moment, Emily's heart thudded loudly in her chest, fear creeping back in. What if the horse didn't like her? What if she messed up? "Just breathe," Sarah said softly, her voice grounding. "You've got this." Taking a steadying breath, Emily released the carrots into Bella's mouth. The mare munched contentedly, her big brown eyes flicking toward Emily. A wave of warmth washed over her. This interaction was simple yet profound. Suddenly, a loud whinny echoed, and Bella lifted her head, ear twitching. The playful chaos of the ranch surrounded them as a couple of other horses trotted over, eager for treats. Emily laughed in delight as the sight sparked something inside her, a sense of freedom she didn't know she was craving. "See? They love you." Sarah beamed, her pride evident. Emily felt a smile break across her face, joy lighting her features. "I never imagined I could be this close to them. It's incredible." The influence of the ranch and the warmth of Sarah's friendship felt like a lifeline, pulling her away from the fears that had anchored her back in New York. The doubts about her future seemed to fade, replaced by the thrill of discovery. As they spent the afternoon training the horses, Emily discovered a rhythm within herself. The clinking of the bits, the rustle of the hay, and even the sound of Sarah's laughter became a backdrop to a new chapter in her life. And with each triumph, each task she accomplished, her confidence flourished, but as the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting golden rays across the landscape, she felt the familiar pang of reality setting back in. The impending wedding hung over her like a shadow. The thrill of today clashed with the weight of tomorrow. Could she really walk away from everything she'd planned? "What's on your mind?" Sarah asked, sensing the change in her mood. I don't know what to do. I feel tied to my life in New York," but Emily trailed off, unable to articulate the deepening conflict simmering within her. "Maybe you need to confront that knot. You're not just a bride, you're a person with dreams," Sarah replied gently. Turning to face her friend, Emily felt the truth of those words sink in. "And if I let go? Who am I then?" As night began to blanket the ranch, the stars peeked into view, twinkling like distant promises. Emily looked up, her heart racing with a mix of fear and hope. Was she brave enough to define herself outside of expectations? "Tomorrow," she whispered to herself, "I'll decide." But deep down, she wondered if she could truly confront the choice looming ahead without feeling the weight of regret. The night air felt thick with possibility, leaving her teetering at the ledge of her own dreams, unsure of which way she'd leap. What awaited her on the other side? The following morning arrived with the soft murmur of wind through the trees. Emily awoke to the warm glow of the sunlight filtering into her room. For a fleeting moment, she forgot about her tangled life back in New York, lost in the serene beauty of the ranch. Stretching out, she felt a strange sense of clarity starting to form within her. As she prepared for the day, Emily's mind drifted to the evening's promise, "Tomorrow, I'll decide." Would she breathe life into her dreams or follow the meticulously laid path others had drawn for her? She dressed quickly, heart pounding with anticipation, and headed outside, the cool morning air invigorating her senses. Sarah was already waiting for her by the paddock, coffee in hand. "Ready for some more horse adventures?" "Absolutely." Emily grinned, feeling the morning sun on her face, its warmth a stark contrast to the chill of doubt that had plagued her the day before. They spent the morning brushing the horses, learning to bond with them beyond treats. Emily felt a connection to Bella Blossom, the horse seeming to take an instant liking to her. As she brushed Bella's mane, she realized this was more than just an activity, it was an awakening. Each stroke felt freeing, almost symbolic of untangling the knots in her heart. "You're a natural," Sarah said with a smile, observing the two. As they moved to the riding ring, Emily observed other ranch hands practicing their skills. Horses galloped, their riders in perfect harmony with the powerful creatures. The sight stirred something transformative deep within her. "Can I try?" Emily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Sarah's face lit up. "Of course. But let us start with some basics." Once mounted on Bella, Emily's heart raced not just from nerves, but from exhilaration. With each gentle tug of the reins, Bella moved gracefully beneath her. Even through the uncertainties, the stallion's strength beneath her felt like empowerment. There was no room for fear up there, only freedom. "Just trust her," Sarah shouted from the ground, her encouragement echoing in Emily's ears. The wind whipped through her hair, and with every stride, she felt lighter, bolder. This felt like flying. After a few laps, Sarah clapped her hands. "You did it. I can't believe that was your first time." Emily dismounted, breathless and laughing. "That was amazing. I didn't think I could ever feel this confident." As they walked back towards the barn, a sudden quiet fell over the ranch. Sarah's expression shifted, her light-hearted demeanor hanging just a bit heavier. "So, tell me, what are you really thinking?" Emily swallowed hard, knowing this was the moment to confront her fears. "I'm terrified," she confessed, voice trembling. "What if I choose to walk away from the wedding? I'll break so many hearts." But she paused, searching for the right words. "But I can't ignore what I'm feeling here." "You know what?" Sarah said softly, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You deserve to be happy. Not just play the part of a bride. You need to choose for you first." The air felt electric, charged with Emily's uncertainty. But as she gazed over the ranch, she began to realize that maybe her happiness echoed beyond the expectations others placed on her. "Maybe I should just." Before she could finish, a loud whinny broke the moment, as a horse raced over, clearly excited about the approaching lunch. Emily laughed, startled by the sudden noise, but in that moment, clarity washed over her again. Then, the question hung in the air: if she didn't choose the wedding, what path would she take? Anxiety clashed with anticipation. How would she decide, really? Tomorrow would bring more than just a decision, it would mean confronting her dreams head-on. And Emily was ready for the challenge. But first, a plan was needed, and the unexpected truth awaited her beyond the barn doors. The sun hung high in the sky the next day, bright and bold. Emily stood by the window, watching the horses graze peacefully on the hillside. It was beautiful and calming, yet her heart raced with uncertainty. Today was not just another day, it was a turning point. She had spent the night mulling over her choices, emotions linked together like a complex tapestry she could not quite unravel. Could she really turn her back on what everyone expected? The thought of packing up her familiar life in New York seemed impossible, but equally daunting was the thought of getting married when every part of her craved something different. With a sigh, she turned away from the window. It was time to find Sarah. Maybe she could help Emily sort through her tangled thoughts. Stepping outside, the ranch felt alive, filled with energy, each sound and scent comforting yet exhilarating. As she walked towards the barn, she spotted Sarah laughing with a few other ranch hands. "Hey, Emily! Just in time!" Sarah called out with her usual infectious enthusiasm, wiping her hands on her jeans as she approached. "We're going to take a few more horses out today. Want to join?" "Yes. Definitely." Emily agreed, her anxiety momentarily overshadowed by excitement. They saddled up and ventured out into the sprawling beauty of the ranch. As they rode, Emily focused on the rhythm of Bella's powerful gait beneath her, finding solace in the movement. Every step brought clarity, every whinny of nearby horses connected her to something greater than herself. "Hey," Sarah broke the silence, her eyes locked onto Emily's. "You've been quiet. What's on your mind?" Emily took a deep breath. "I've been thinking about the wedding and what I truly want. I realize I've been so caught up in what I should be doing that I forgot to ask myself what I want." Good. That's a start, Sarah replied, her voice steady. You've got to listen to your heart. What's it telling you? Tears stung Emily's eyes as she opened up. It's hard to even know anymore. I thought I wanted the wedding, but now it feels like just a step in someone else's plan for me. Out here, I feel different. Alive, even. Like I could be more than what everyone sees. The wind tousled Sarah's hair as she nodded in understanding. That's the beauty of this place. It strips away the noise and lets you hear your true self. Have you thought about what stepping away from that plan looks like? It was a simple question, but it struck Emily deeply. The images flooded her mind. She pictured herself not in a wedding gown, but in jeans and a shirt, laughing freely, exploring the world without fear. Her heart pounded in her chest. I can hardly imagine. But I know it's not just about saying no to the wedding, it's about what I want to say yes to, she replied softly. Sarah smiled, a mix of pride and compassion. Exactly. This place can offer you the clarity you need if you're willing to let this journey unfold. They rode in quiet contemplation, the hooves of their horses echoing across the vast landscape, until a commotion broke the peace. A young boy ran towards them, his face flushed with excitement. Emily. Sarah. Come quick. There's something happening at the lake. He shouted breathlessly, pointing into the distance. Emily's heart raced once more. This was unexpected. What could possibly be waiting for them? Let us go. Sarah urged, spurring her horse forward. As they galloped towards the lake, Emily's anticipation surged. Whatever awaited them might be a sign, a moment to solidify her decision. She felt a mix of anxiety and exhilaration. What would she uncover there? Would it push her closer to making her choice? The lake shimmered in the distance, reflecting the sunlight like a beacon of possibilities. Would today lead her to the answers she desperately sought? The thrill of the unknown awaited. The vibrant colors of the lake sparkled under the sun like 1,000 tiny diamonds, drawing Emily and Sarah closer with every beat of their horses' hooves. The laughter of the boy echoed in the air, mingling with the gentle rustling of the breeze. As they approached, Emily could see a small group gathered on the shore, their faces animated with curiosity and excitement. What is going on? Emily asked, glancing at Sarah, whose eyes were alight with intrigue. I don't know, but it looks thrilling. Sarah replied, her smile wide as she nudged Bella forward. As they got nearer, Emily saw a young girl kneeling by the water's edge, cradling something in her hands. The girl's expression was a blend of wonder and trepidation, and Emily felt a pull toward the unfolding scene. She dismounted and made her way through the cluster of ranch hands who were leaning in closer, their murmurs vibrating with anticipation. What is it, Maddie? One of them asked as Emily drew near. Holding her breath, Emily peered into the girl's hands. There, nestled in the girl's palms, was a tiny turtle, its shell glistening in the sunlight. I found it. It was all alone by the reeds, Maddie exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with joy. Emily felt a warmth bloom in her chest. It was such a simple moment, yet it felt significant, life and innocence contained in something so small. The turtle wriggled slightly, drawing a chorus of oohs and ahs from everyone around. Let us set it free. It belongs in the water. Someone shouted, and the group erupted into excited agreement. Emily's heart swelled. It felt like a moment of unveiling, not just for the turtle, but for herself too. From the laughter of the group to the innocence of Maddie, everything felt tied together. She caught Sarah's eye, and they shared a knowing look, a silent understanding of this unexpected joy. Emily. You want to help? Sarah asked, nudging her shoulder gently. Of course. Emily responded enthusiastically, feeling the energy of the group wrap around her. As they all carefully gathered in a circle, Emily took a step forward, her heart racing at the thought of touching the turtle. She could feel her fears wobbling in her chest. What would it be like to touch it? To take that leap, with steady hands, Maddie extended the turtle toward Emily. As their fingers brushed, Emily felt the soft texture of the shell. It was a tiny moment, but it sent a jolt through her. Maybe it was a reminder that life was about taking chances, embracing the unknown. It reflected what she had been feeling deep down. "Okay, let us do this," Emily said, clutching the turtle gently before carrying it to the water's edge. The others fell silent, drawn in by the moment. She tilted her hands and watched as the little turtle hesitated for a heartbeat before plunging into the water. A flurry of splashes erupted, and cheers broke out all around. "That was amazing!" Sarah shouted, her eyes shimmering with excitement that a wave of relief washed over Emily. In that moment, she realized she was ready to dive into her own unknown. The gathering clapped and laughed, and to Emily, it felt like a celebration of possibilities. With each cheer, she felt the chains of expectation loosening just a bit more, but as the crowd began to disperse, a familiar feeling of uncertainty crept back into her mind. Amid the joy and laughter, her heart whispered, was she truly ready to embrace the leap they'd just celebrated? "Sarah," Emily began hesitantly, eyeing the fading sun. "What if I can't go back to the life I had before? What if I let everyone down?" "It's okay to be scared," Sarah reassured, resting a hand on Emily's shoulder. "But think about this, what if saying yes to yourself is the best thing you can do?" Emily nodded slowly, her thoughts swirling. This moment, both thrilling and terrifying, was a step toward her truth. And deep down, she felt something shift. The whisper of possibility felt louder than the fear. As they walked back toward the horses, Emily's mind raced with questions. Was she ready to embrace the life she truly wanted? And just as she was about to voice her resolve, the distant thunder of storm clouds rolling in darkened the horizon. What would the approaching storm mean for her journey? The storm moved in swiftly, dark clouds swallowing the sky. Emily felt a chill run down her spine, not just from the sudden drop in temperature but from the weight of everything swirling in her heart. She paused, glancing back at the lake, where the turtle now glided through the water, free and unburdened. It was a small, hopeful image against the brewing darkness. "Emily." Sarah's voice broke through her thoughts. "We need to get moving." With a quick nod, Emily mounted her horse, her mind still tangled in uncertainty. The thrill of the moment with the turtle faded like the light of the sun, leaving her to grapple with questions that felt heavier than the clouds above. As they rode back, Emily stole glances at Sarah, who seemed unaffected by the brewing storm. Her friend rode confidently, a smile on her face while rain began to splatter against the earth. "Look at it this way," Sarah said, breaking the silence. "Every storm brings a chance for something new. Just like you, Emily. Maybe this is the reset you need." That perspective tugged at Emily's heart. Could she dare to see her life like that? The thought sent a wave of warmth through her, yet fear darted in, threatening to extinguish it. She had been grappling with her decision to change, wishing for the courage to leap into the unknown, but every time she thought she was ready, doubt crept back in the shadow of what had been, whispering that she was not worthy. With every step, the rain transformed into a heavy downpour, and Emily felt the chill seep deep into her bones. The vast landscape became a blur, and the once vibrant colors dulled under the steady fall of rain. No longer a playful adventure, the ride morphed into a wild race against nature. Suddenly, Sarah pulled ahead, guiding her horse to a slight rise. Emily followed close behind, trusting her friend to find a safe way through the storm. Just as they reached the top, lightning cracked above, reflecting in Sarah's determined eyes. "This way!" Sarah shouted, veering off the path and toward the tree line where what looked like a cabin awaited. Following her lead, Emily felt a mix of panic and adrenaline. As they hurried through the mud, a flash of lightning illuminated the structure, revealing its weathered wood, sturdy despite the storms it had faced. Safety, if only temporarily, rushed forward to meet her. They dismounted and raced toward the door, laughter and shouts drawing her back into the present moment. Emily reached the door and grasped the knob, the cold metal biting into her hand. Just then, Sarah touched her arm, concern etched in her features. Are you okay? Emily swallowed hard, mind racing. I am just thinking about everything. My parents, the ranch, how do I make them understand? They'll understand better than you think, Sarah said gently. Just know that no matter what happens, you're not alone in this. You're free to discover your own path. Taking a deep breath, Emily pushed the door open. The inside was dimly lit, but the warmth wrapped around her like a comforting blanket. As they stepped inside, the sound of the storm slowly faded. Look, Sarah said, a glimmer of hope shining in her dark eyes. We can figure this out together. Just take it one day at a time. In that quiet moment, with thunder rumbling just beyond the walls, Emily took the first real step toward embracing her truth. The storm outside mirrored the inner turmoil she faced, yet she felt an inkling of courage bubbling beneath her fears. Perhaps this adventure could guide her toward clarity, but as she took a seat, something in the corner caught her attention, a weathered photograph tucked beneath an old journal. She reached for it and gasped at the familiar faces it held. What secrets from the past would this reveal? Emily's fingers trembled as she picked up the photograph, its edges frayed from time. The faces staring back at her were her parents, young and full of life, standing beside a child that looked just like she once did. The happiness radiating from their smiles felt like a whisper from the past, drawing her in. It was an echo of the dreams they had woven together on this very ranch. Emily. Sarah's voice broke into her reverie, concern creeping into her tone. What is it? The photo, it's my parents. Emily turned it around for Sarah to see. Before everything changed. A shadow crossed Sarah's face as she leaned in closer. They look so happy. What happened? Life happened. The words felt heavy on Emily's tongue. Things got complicated when they decided to run the ranch alone. The pressure mounted. I wanted to help, but it always felt like there wasn't enough of me to go around. You were just a kid. Sarah's voice was soft, a comforting balm. You had your own dreams. The warmth of the cabin enveloped them, contrasting sharply with the turmoil outside. The wind howled faintly through the cracks in the wood, but here, in this small haven, Emily found herself drawn deeper into the photograph's story. She remembered games in the fields, laughter echoing against the hills, and her father's robust voice teaching her how to ride. But with all the joy came an undercurrent of anxiety. The weight of expectation shadowed every moment, a constant reminder that she was meant to carry on the family legacy. Was that what they really wanted for her? What if I'm about to throw it all away? Emily whispered, realizing how close she was to that edge. You're not throwing anything away, Sarah insisted, her blue eyes unwavering, fierce yet understanding. You're just deciding what's right for you now. Everyone deserves a chance to pursue their passions. Even your parents. But if I leave, the thought twisted in Emily's chest like a knife. They'll be disappointed. They need me. They've always needed me. That's what makes this so hard, Emily, Sarah said, her eyes softening. But staying out of obligation isn't fair to you, and it won't help them either. If you're stuck unhappy, you can't truly be there for them. The rain pounded against the cabin like a heartbeat, steady, unwavering. Sarah's words sank into Emily's heart, mixing with the swirling fears and hopes. What if rediscovering herself could be the very thing that would change everything? Emily looked back down at the photograph, tracing the outlines of her younger self. She remembered the fire within that girl, a fire that had dimmed over the years. I've lost sight of who I am. There's still time to find her, Bella, Sarah said, using her childhood nickname with affection. Maybe this storm is the start of reset. Just like I told you before. It's okay to want something different. But as Emily pondered that, a loud crack of thunder shook the cabin, and outside, the wind howled like a living thing. She couldn't ignore the storm anymore, either outside or within. Closing her eyes, she took a deep breath, grounding herself in the reality that she faced. Let us open that journal, she said suddenly, surprising even herself. There might be something inside that gives me courage. Something that shows me what it means to truly live. Sarah nodded eagerly, and together they leaned over the dusty journal, that bend of hope guiding them. With renewed curiosity swirling in her heart, Emily felt just a flicker of bravery sparking. But as they flipped through the pages, what they uncovered was more shocking than she ever expected. Messages and secrets woven through time that could change everything she thought she knew about her family. What revelations awaited them in those delicate pages? As Emily and Sarah leaned over the weathered journal, the world outside faded into a distant roar. The pages crackled softly beneath their fingers, each turn revealing snippets of her family's history, emotions, and dreams. Emily's heart raced with anticipation. What if these words could guide her, help her find clarity among the chaos? The first entry was dated years ago, in her mother's flowing script, delicate yet confident. It spoke of hope and determination, the aspirations of a young couple tackling the challenges of ranch life together. Yet, as they delved deeper, the tone started to shift. Each entry unveiled a landscape of struggles, of sleepless nights, broken fences, and unexpected losses. The narratives intermingled with dreams, weaving love and disappointment in a fragile tapestry. Look at this. Sarah pointed at a passage where Emily's mother had written about feeling trapped under the weight of expectations. She felt the same pressures you do. Emily inhaled sharply, her eyes tracing the words. I thought it was only me. She felt a mix of guilt and relief wash over her. Her mother had endured the same struggles, the same confusing mix of love and obligation that now plagued Emily. Turning the page, Emily found her father's handwriting mixed in a strong scrawl that exuded a sense of security. He wrote about his desire to provide, paired with a longing for freedom, the freedom to chase dreams beyond the ranch. Emily felt a flicker of understanding. Her parents had sacrificed so much but dreamed of more for themselves. What if they really wanted me to be happy? Emily whispered, the thought igniting the small flame of courage inside her. What if this legacy isn't just about the ranch but about choosing happiness? Sarah smiled, her expression brightening the room. That's it, Emily. Maybe this is your chance to break the cycle. To live for you. Yeah. But what does that even look like? Emily furrowed her brow, the weight of uncertainty clouding her thoughts again. Just then, a loose piece of paper slipped from between the pages, floating softly to the floor. Emily picked it up and unfolded it. Her breath caught in her throat as she realized it was a recipe, her mother's favorite pie. Beneath it, a few words stood out in bold: never be afraid to seek sweetness in life. Overwhelmed with emotion, Emily felt tears form in her eyes. Here was a simple reminder, hidden among the words of turmoil, that life shouldn't just be about duty and sacrifice. With one piece of paper, she could hear her mother whispering, urging her not to forget the joy found in little moments. Sarah's hand found Emily's, squeezing gently. This is your mom showing you that it's okay to make choices that bring you happiness. The storm outside raged on, but inside the little cabin, a profound sense of warmth enveloped them. The journal now felt like a bridge, connecting the past with the future, a way for Emily to carve her own path. Let us keep reading, Emily urged, driven by newfound determination. There has to be more. More about their dreams. More about where I fit into all this. As they continued to turn pages, both of them hopeful for what lay ahead, a sudden gust of wind rattled the cabin. The old wooden beams creaked, and the glass windows rattled in their frames. Just then, they stumbled upon a remarkable entry from just a few months before, her mother's passing words that hinted at a hidden family secret, something that, if revealed, could change everything Emily thought she understood about her parents and her life at the ranch. Emily's heart raced again, a tempest of emotion swirling as she read the last line: the time has come for us all to choose what we love or what we fear. What other secrets lay waiting in the pages? She couldn't shake the feeling that the answers could lead her to a choice more compelling than she ever imagined. Emily's world shifted in that moment, the darkness of the storm outside blending with the storm within her heart. What does it mean? What choice? She whispered, her fingers gripping the pages tightly. Each word felt like a challenge, urging her to confront the fear that had held her captive for so long. Sarah leaned closer, eyes wide with curiosity. "Maybe it's time to explore what this choice means for you, Emily. What do you want? What are you really afraid of?" The question ignited a fire deep in her. "I'm terrified of disappointing my parents, of leaving the safety of my old life. But, what if staying there means sacrificing who I am?" Tears welled in her eyes as she felt the truth of those words resonate in her, and just like that, her mind swirled with echoes of the laughter, love, and warmth she had once felt, now mixed with a pang of longing for something more. "I don't want to be held back by what others expect of me anymore. I want to discover who I can be outside those walls." With newfound determination, Emily stood up, feeling taller as if shedding the weight she carried for years. "I want to live for me," she declared, her voice steadier now. "Just like my parents longed to do." At that moment, the wind howled outside, but within the cabin, a bubble of hope enveloped them. Sarah smiled brightly, pride shining in her eyes. "That's it. Now what can you do next?" The clouds roared on in the backdrop, but Emily took a deep breath, and embraced the clarity that surged through her. "I have to go back and talk to them. Not just about the wedding but about my dreams. I want them to know where I stand." "Exactly," Sarah said, bouncing on her feet. "Don't wait until tomorrow, go for it today." Emily felt the hesitation begin to fade away, clarity taking its place. It wasn't just about rejecting her life in New York, it was about carving out a path that reflected her true self. She pictured herself having that conversation, and for the first time, it didn't scare her. Instead, it excited her. Suddenly, the storm began to ease, the wind mellowing to a gentle sigh. The atmosphere in the cabin mirrored her spirit, bold and ready to fight. With every step, she was ready to reclaim her happiness. "Let us head back," she said firmly, her heart racing with anticipation. "I need to make this right." As they stepped back into the world outside, the rain had transformed into a drizzle, a cleansing ritual for the ranch. Hopping onto their horses, Emily felt lighter, the promise of adventure ahead spun together with the determination to chase her dreams. The ride back was different, it was as if the weight of 1,000 decisions had lifted. Emily looked around at the vibrant landscape, feeling each inch of it spark a memory, laughter, warmth, love. This was her home, rooted in memories, but it didn't have to define who she would become. When they reached the ranch, her heart drummed in her chest. This was it. The moment to reveal her truth. With Sarah by her side, radiant in support, Emily stepped forward, drawing courage from their bond. "Mom, Dad," she called, her voice ringing out across the yard. The ranch felt alive with the energy of possibility. Emily's parents emerged from the barn, surprise etched across their faces. "Emily. We were worried," her mom said, rushing forward, but Emily held her hand up gently. "Wait," she exclaimed, her heart pounding through her chest. "I've been doing a lot of thinking." Her parents exchanged glances, concern mixed with curiosity. Sarah stepped forward, standing tall beside her, a silent promise of solidarity. "I know you want what's best for me," Emily began, her voice confident and steady. "But I can't be someone I'm not. I've lived my life by the expectations laid out before me, and I need to find my own path." Her mom's eyes widened in disbelief, but Emily forged ahead. "I want to explore my dreams, not just the family obligation. I want to embrace the happiness we all deserve." With each word, she felt the shackles of fear shatter, replaced by a newfound spark of joy. "I don't want to keep doing things just to please everyone else. I want to discover who I am. I hope you can understand." Emily's father stepped forward, his eyes softening. "Honey, we only want you to be happy," he said, his voice thick. "We just thought running the ranch was what you wanted. We thought doing things your way would make you successful." "That definition of success is evolving," she said, her heart full. And I need your support to redefine what happiness looks like for me. With tears in their eyes, her parents nodded, understanding dawning slowly, yet resolutely. We'll support you in whatever you decide, Emily, her mom whispered, her voice barely shaping the words as the truth settled. Freedom washed over Emily, pooling warmth in her heart. The storm had passed, leaving the silhouettes of mountains awake in the orange hues of the setting sun. Thank you, she smiled, her heart swelling. Thank you for understanding. As they stood together, wrapped in warmth and connection, laughter erupted around them, and somewhere, a horse neighed happily in the distance, embodying the spirit of the ranch they had fought so hard to build together, and together, as a family, they turned toward the future, ready to discover paths they had yet to carve, a legacy not just of obligation, but of love and authentic choice. The sun dipped low, sinking slowly beneath the horizon, offering a promise that tomorrow would be the first of many beautiful days, filled with discovery. So join this journey with us. If you enjoyed this incredible transformation, subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and ensure these stories reach hearts that need them. Comment below your reactions and feelings about the ending. Your voice matters, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Remember, only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Let us keep this community growing.